So Esteban, Omer, so these guys own a company called Remote Latinos. Esteban also owns Hustle Media. So Remote Latinos is a virtual assistant recruiting company, and these guys are some of the best recruiters for virtual assistants that I have encountered, and I've used them personally, and a lot of you guys have already used them, but they are outstanding. They they're then with their company, Remote Latinos, have done like countless recruits for real estate investors, and they understand the industry really well. So super excited for them to present. They're going to be, I'll let them talk about what they're going to be sharing with you guys, but really excited to welcome them. So give them a warm welcome.
Thank you. All right. I did a brief introduction and connected with a few of you guys yesterday, but I'd love to connect with a lot more of you later today. So like he said, my name is Esteban Andrade. I'm Colombian, I'm Canadian as well. And I moved to the US because there is a lot of opportunities. But not only that, I found that there is a huge opportunity in the Latin American market for the real estate investing space. Myself, I am Latin America. Now that I moved to Miami, I found myself being with all these Latin Americans, and I'm like, okay, these real estate investors ultimately need a solution for their scaling and their growth. We came up with hustlemedia.com, and which is, where you can also find it as motivatedselleronline.com, and that helps with lead generation, but that's only a piece of the pie. We also are helping now with scaling companies through teams, building out teams, virtual teams. So that's a brief of me here. This is Omir Block.
Yes, I'm Omir I'm from the Israel, but I was raised in America, and unlike Esteban, I left the U.S. because I saw there was more opportunity in Latin America, and I've been living as a digital nomad the last a little over a year, and a lot of it I've been spending time in Playa and Medellin, Colombia, and when I go out, I saw all these people that speak perfect English, that with the right tools, the right resources, they can be turned into lead managers, cold callers, you name it, and that planted the seed in my head. But earlier this year, Esteban and I partnered up to specifically work with investors and shift working with everyone, because right at the moment we work with 12 different industries, to focusing on helping investors find all sorts of talent. And here we are.
Yeah, guys, so today what I'm going to cover is how we all, as business owners, can add extra 2 deals per month with 0 marketing. Now, this doesn't mean stop your marketing or stop doing marketing. This doesn't mean that at all. Again, we have Hustle Media, which is a marketing agency company, so we're always marketing, and we're doing all type of marketing with online lead gen. And just quick things that we're going to be covering, obviously, is marketing itself and scaling with Remote Latinos, but just a few of my accomplishments so that you know that where I'm coming from. I was able to not only go from the 9 to 5, working as an engineer, to build a great agency helping real estate investors get in the first year 4.2 mil combined in commissions. In the first year, second year, it's over $30 million combined. But we built a community of 200 plus real estate investors as well, and they all are doing online marketing. I've been investing in real estate ever since 2019, single family. Also have done multifamily, partnered up with Pace Morvey in a few deals and such. Also being in several podcasts that I go all into value, and then we have our own podcast. So we want to bring really great granular information. I had James Hodges in that podcast as well, and he broke down great stuff. So there's other people as well in those podcasts. And we're currently
have you guys on.
Yeah, we're about to have you guys on because you guys are huge players too. Yeah. Miami podcast in person, and we're all combined with our companies $230,000 a month on our business. Omir.
Yeah, so I've been in the make money online space for about 4 years. I started with chiropractic. I was telling Matt this. I started chiropractic, scaled the agency to about 300,000 a month, and then we turned that agency to a coaching program where we teach agencies like Esteban's how to scale, which is how I met Esteban. And I noticed that in marketing agencies, these are guys that are normally, right out of college, maybe they just started a family, they were struggling with hirings, right? So I was like, wait, so if these guys are starting with hirings and they don't know how to set up ads and recruit, I'm assuming a lot more people are struggling with that. And that's where my idea came. I was like, wait, I feel like I can figure out a way. I live in Latin America. I feel like there's some synergy here, and we've been able to place actually over 400 people in the last 2 years. And really, the ultimate mission is to get to 10,000 as fast as possible. And specifically now, we actually turned that mission into 10,000 for real estate investors. Before it was just like, I want to help 10,000 businesses. Now it's like, we want to help 10,000 real estate investors build out their teams, which tells us that you guys are growing and you guys are scaling. The only way you guys are ever going to build a team is if you guys are actually growing. Otherwise, you can't build a team, right? That's when you guys go all in, you invest into coaching, you invest into masterminds, and slowly but surely you start building a business that is worthwhile. So,
All right, great. So guys, just a few podcasts that our clients have been in. That's, Bigger Pockets, Rookie, Real Estate Rookie, Real Estate Disruptors as well, and a few others. And just some great stuff here. Oh, shit, how do I stop that? All right, I didn't want it to play. All right, there we go. They're all playing at the same time. All right, so guys, here is a few things I want to talk about. So usually people, they are very focused on generating leads and continuing to generate new leads over time, but they forget that they have a gold mine already in their pipeline. And the reason why is because I used to do that, and I used to do that very hard. I did not take a look at my pipeline and see what I had. I just got a reminder actually of going back to my pipeline and do something specifically that if you do it, you're gonna add a few deals per month with a few bunch of workflows and automations that we have created. And if you stay and you keep your attention on the presentation, by the end of the presentation, I'm gonna give you basically an entire roadmap of how the workflow works on how we are going to be adding 2 extra deals at least per month by just doing this one thing. Now, we do get at least 2 deals extra per month by getting people back from the death. There's people that we thought that they were dead and we've been generating new leads, and so we forget about them. So we're gonna cover that real quick, and we're gonna cover how we use also virtual assistants to basically take advantage of these people. Now, all you need is great systems and people. All of you guys know this. This is not something that is new for you, but everyone that's watching, you cannot scale a company without great systems and people. So here's problem number 1 that we found. Problem number 1 is that people don't value their leads as much as they should. Problem number 2 is that people are leaving money on the table. And problem number 3 is that people are not leveraging people and tech at 100%. So one of the few things that we are going to develop over time with Remote Latinos and Hustle Media at motivateselleronline.com, we're going to develop tech in order to help other companies grow, all right? And the same thing, we use tech and people in the right way. Now here's the 4 pillars to get to the 2 extra deals per month. Here's number 1. Number 1 is going to be the reoffer. James Hodges talks about reoffer a lot. I've seen him talk about it. But with our systems that we have created, we're going to take it to another level. We created workflows, automations that take the reoffer to another level. The goal here is that you do this consistently, and you'll see the results over time. Number 2 is conversations. So follow up like a beast and convert. This is something that Omir is a beast on doing, and we're going to cover a few of his techniques and a few of the things that he does in order to become a follow-up beast, all right, and convert like a beast. And scale remotely. So we want to be able to scale it with A players, right? We want to be able to scale with people that truly care about our company, and a few of you guys have gotten hires that you guys love. I think Sophia here, I'm not sure what the name of the hire was there, but Ashley, there you go. And no, the hire. The hire. Yeah. Xavier and Deborah. And not yet, but you will. All right, and and the fourth thing will be media. All right, so scale through ads and people. All right. So the first thing will be reoffer. So what is reoffer? We're basically are going to reactivate, get people back from the death. All right. And what does this consist? So the first thing that you have to keep in mind is that you have to have a clean pipeline. We use a great CRM, a great software, and if you don't have this, like it's gonna be very tough to do this type of campaign, which is the reoffer reactivation campaign. So having a great CRM that you can clean up, make sure that all leads are under specific stages in the CRM and categorize those that are on the works versus the ones that need follow-up. So if you are able to have a great CRM, do it. We utilize the backend of Go High Level, and we have been able to build our systems around that. So I'm not sure what you guys are using. What are you guys using as in terms of systems for pipeline management? RA Simply, Simply. Go High Level, great. And James here, what do you guys use? RA Simply. Oh, great. Okay. You guys are keeping it simply. All right, cool. So if you have leads from multiple channels, put everything in the CRM. This is something that you should be doing. Like a lot of people, they use different softwares and they keep their stuff here, cold call here, and then, no, put everything in one place and have an SMS and email marketing software. And if it has RVM, that's a plus. Create a script with training for reactivation, and we're gonna go over that as well. And your offer, it's gonna be everything. And nowadays, even during the recession, the offer is gonna be everything. And we're gonna go over a few offers that I've been able to create that reactivates their, just their interest in working with you, all right? Now, what are the deliverables that we have to have doing this? We're gonna run a text blast campaign. We're gonna run an email blast campaign. If you guys have captured leads over time, there's no reason why you shouldn't, there's no reason why you shouldn't have their emails. Like, every single time that you talk to your leads, capture their emails as well, even if it's during the phone, because this is just data that you guys can use with, reactivation campaigns, Facebook ads, Google ads. You can feed Facebook with this. You can feed Google with this. It's just great. And you have to do it. And run voicemail drop campaigns. The goal is to make people come back from the grave. All right. So we're going to grab the list of all your leads and then in the following stages in your pipeline. So we have stages called need to reschedule, people that asked to reschedule and we never got them back into a phone call because they got busy or something. People that no-showed our appointment and then ghosted us or just never showed up. People that are in our follow-up stages and nurture stages. So this is completely separate from our head list and our hot list. So make sure that you grab all this list of people and you're gonna be able to send the reoffer campaign to this. So do this for the leads that you've gotten in the last 12 months, not including the leads that came in the last 14 days. Because we want to reactivate those that you just basically stopped talking to and that your setters are taking long to get back to them. And usually 14 days, 30 days, your setters should be pretty good at it, but before that, it gets fairly tough. Older leads can also work well if you have leads that have been generated in the last 12 months and even over than that. So all your leads should be very, very, they're just gonna be so good, and that's a gold mine that you should be able to have. Now, you're gonna send a reactivation campaign at the end of every single month. I just got my reminder because I'm still American marketing manager, of sending a reactivation campaign at the end of every month. It's literally grabbing all these lists, putting them into a workflow. The workflow has many ifs statements, which means that if they don't respond, it tries again, and then goes into a drip. If they respond, then whether they respond positively or negatively, then you will have an automated message as well and notification to your team that they have been able to respond. And the message that you reply back is the whole intention, with the whole intention of booking another appointment. Because why? Because you're reactivating them, their interest, because maybe they haven't been picking up their phone through phone calls, but they will pick up their text message and their email reply. All right? So you're going to respond to the messages and call them right away. That will be the most ideal way. Now, sometimes it becomes unbearable because if you, let's say, have a list of 600 leads, and let's say that 10% do respond, it can get pretty crazy. The same thing if you have more than 600 leads, right? It can get pretty crazy. Like our closers, we have a team, and it can get pretty crazy. So I suggest that you would do it in batches. Or if you have a great team of setters and a great team of closers, that everyone knows that they need to get into these people as soon as possible. Now, respond to messages and use your Calendly link or calendar tool. Everyone should, in my opinion, should be having a Calendly link because you're not going to be able to talk to every single one of them over phone once you do a reactivation campaign. Some of them, they'll prefer to stay within text message, or your team might not be on the phone busy while responding, while they want to coordinate another appointment with this lead. So having a Calendly will be great, but either way, that's just to make it more efficient. And then you're gonna have a book phone call meeting for those that you can call or are not available immediately. What happens after the book an appointment is that you reset the frame during the call and follow a sales process. And we're gonna go and explain you why. Follow a sales process and obviously follow up. This is the most important thing. So what you need offers that you're capable of doing. So all of you guys are doing innovation, that's great. Some of you guys are doing sub-twos, creative finance. All of you guys obviously do cash offers. You need a CRM capable of creating workflows. And you need a reactivation script and a workflow. A follow-up and sales framework. All right, this is very important. If you don't have follow-up and sales framework, then you might be missing opportunities and not squeezing the juice out of it. So here's a few scripts that you could potentially use. Are you gonna be like, what does this mean? So for example, hey, the first name, we chatted some time ago about getting cash for your house at whatever address. You can map out the address there, right there. So thought I could share with you a few ideas that has been working with our clients that help them get full price for their house, guaranteed, plus $1,000. So what does this mean? First of all, it injects curiosity into the message, all right? There's a level of scarcity. Why? Because it's a few ideas that have been working with them. So it's like a few things that you've tried and it's been working with your clients. And would you be opposed to chat about it sometime this week? So this is one sample of the first message that you can send. Now, every single month, you will do this, and you can change the message every single month with the same lists. And it's okay if you do that to the same list, to the same leads, because at the end of the day, you just want them to respond to a message, and you want to keep it variable. There's another one. Hey, we spoke some time ago about cash for your home, so I'm testing something new, something brand new for New Year's, and I thought of you. To keep it exclusive, we're only going to be buying 5 more homes in your area where they can get full price for their home and sell for cash, guaranteed. If you want more info, just let me know in the next 24 hours. No pressure either way. And what this does is that, first of all, you can 100% give them full price using innovations, right? And you can guarantee that if their property qualifies for this offer, that they will get full price, essentially, right? Now, not every property, of course, will qualify for a full price. Some of them might need a cash offer, but that's why when you get into a phone call with them, you reset the frame, right? You reset the frame of the conversation, and you go like, hey, Mr. Sam, what's going on? Tell me what is it that got you to book an appointment with us? I like to find out why you're looking to sell your house. And then if they were to bring up the offer that it's in the text message, be like, yeah, so the way that we work is that we buy houses different ways. We buy for cash, and some of them will be able to guarantee a full price. But I'd like to ask you some questions just to make sure that this will be a great fit for you or not. And if it does, I'll let you know by the end of the conversation. You basically reset the frame by doing exactly that. The other one is, hey, this is Esteban here from the home offer, and we've spoken before. I'm testing something for the next 44 hours that will allow homeowners to sell their house full price in less than 7 days and get cash guaranteed. We are buying 3 more houses with this method in your area. I wanted to pass a few homeowners that might be interested in selling their house quickly, and since we had spoken before, I thought of you. Let me know in the next 24 hours if you want more info. No worries either way. So what happens here is that we're utilizing different elements of scarcity, urgency, and obviously we're sparking curiosity. Once you master the elements of scarcity and urgency, you guys are going to be able to like get people's attention real well. And there's a huge training about that in YouTube. I'll pass it to you guys. But basically, all these messages is grabbing the elements of scarcity and urgency and mixing it with your offer. If you don't have a great offer to give them, and you're gonna be like, hey, you know, it's just cash. We're gonna buy your house as is, no fees, 0 fees, no realtors. You're just gonna sound like everyone else. And if you really want to stand out, you want to be able to have some sort of offer build up. And we're gonna go over a few offers. Another script, our CEO from the home offer is testing our new guaranteed full price home offers this week that will help you sell your house fast without any efforts, no showings, realtor fees, and get full price for the house. I wanted to run it past a few homeowners that might be interested, and I thought of you. Let me know if you want info in the next 48 hours to get you in the new program, right? How do you guys frame the program that you guys have as Novation? Is it a concierge type of service? How do you guys frame it?
Typically, we're going to partner with you on the deal.
Partner with you. All right. There's many ways that you can actually label and name your offer. The way that you package it, like it could be, like I know a few people in the space that, for example, they use concierge service. They use it could be like a recession-proof program, whatever. Like there's many ways that you can actually package your offer, but the idea is to get their attention once again, all right? All right, so there's a few modifiers of scarcity that you can add, and urgency in there based on the seasonality, for example, right now by the end of the year or Christmas time that is coming. To celebrate the holidays, you can add it there. So we just came up with this new offer to celebrate the holidays. I wanted to reach out to a few people, including you, that wanted to sell their house, and we had a conversation a few months ago about it. And again, this is from the list, the reactivation list that you had. Another one, it's available only before the end of the year, all right? But then you can change the wording by Q1 and the next month, and you can give them basically the same type of value with just a different offer, and you apply different urgency and different scarcity elements into this messaging. Only buying 5 more homes with this method in the next 72 hours. There's a few things that you can add in your messaging in order to reactivate them every single month, or like get responses from your leads every single month. And your list, guys, it becomes such a gold mine. It's like I was talking with James Hodges yesterday, and for example, in our niche, in our specific industry, we use email a lot. And basically, with email, you can do it daily. You can also do it monthly, but it's our own list. It's the same list that we've been generating every single day. And if we're not squeezing the juice out of it, then we're essentially missing out in a lot of money. All right? So offers that work for creative deals and recession times. Full price offers, 7 days sold, instant cash. Now, we're giving them here the idea that they can get a full price, all right? We're giving them here the idea that if they can obviously do this fast and they can receive the money or whatever solution that they're looking for fast. Remember, speed is going to be something that is going to increase the value of any offer that you have, of any program, any service that you have in your company. As long as you do it fast and conveniently, they love it. So how much of a good offer is a full price? People love full prices. But what happens, the trick here is like what happens in the phone call. Like not all properties qualify for that program, right? So you reset the frame on the phone call and you make them understand, especially if they bring it up. If they don't bring it up, then you just qualify them the same way. But you can always, when you set the agenda on the phone call, on the sales call, then you will bring up how you buy houses. Now, instant solution for homeowners with problem homes, sell full price, get full price for your house, guaranteed plus $1,000. So what does this mean? So if they qualify, because it's such a great offer, and then you adding a bonus. Bonus is a great enhancer of offers. And essentially, you are going to be telling them that if they qualify, if their property qualifies for a offer that you want, it's going to be $1,000 that you are going to give them as a bonus. But you can do it many ways. Either $1,000 is not going to be a heavy burden for you, or it's not going to be a heavy investment for you, or you can also include it in the offer. You just basically account it in the offer that you give them, $1,000, all right? Now, recession-proof house offers in seconds, sell full price, 0 fees, all cash, and 7 days sold, homeowner top dollar relief solution. So these are a few creative offers that we've been testing in Google Ads, for example. Where we put this here and we want to differentiate ourselves from the competition that is always only doing sell assets, sell for cash, no realtor fees, blah, 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 same thing as over and over. So we want to be able to differentiate ourselves.
When you say full price, people think real estate market price.
So full price, it will be what you and I agree on.
Okay, but usually we can't offer them full price.
Right, so full price, for example, so if you were to be doing a novations agreement, right? Or let's say a sub-2, how do you structure that deal? Usually you give them something close to what the market value is, or something like that, right? So that's essentially what it is, but at the end of the day, whenever you give them either a top dollar offer, full price offer, is whatever you and the seller agree on the phone call. Why? Because there's many nuances, there's many things that go behind giving a full price. Look, we give full prices all the time, except that this home was sold to us ready to go, right? Turnkey. Like the house had nothing to do. Like there was no repairs, no touch-ups, nothing. It was ready to go. We give them full price. However, many properties do not qualify for this. That's why I like to ask you a few questions about your property and see what you'll be able to qualify. But you're getting them now on the phone, right? And you're getting these people reactivated to see if they can qualify now for the program that you have, which is the, what was it?
Novations.
No, the way that you name it. Partner program. Right?
And so full price is an arbitrary term. They don't know what full price is.
That's the hook.
It's just a hook to get them to engage, and now we're trying to just get them back into a conversation.
Correct.
You're setting expectations, I think, when you say full price. Because anyone.
Yeah, you gotta go in with like a novation offer typically.
Yeah.
But like then that's where we walk through the sales process of, finding out what their need is, finding out why they're wanting to sell. And so full price, like, is usually gonna be your novation offer. Like this is the highest price that you would be able to get.
Are y'all gonna be sharing this slide with us?
Yeah, 100%, for sure. Plus, given the bonuses, yeah. All right, cool. Conversations. All right. Guys, so it all comes down into the conversation. It all comes down into like how fast you're going to be following up, how well you're going to be following up, touching base with this person, this sales framework that you use, right? And just how good you are on the phone. So lead conversion. You book appointments, you have a pre-sales process, you have a sales process, and follow up like a beast. Now, you asked me about, hey, they're going to be coming with the wrong expectations. You can reset the expectations at any point during sales process. Sorry? And the pre-sales. So what does the pre-sales mean? And I forgot to include it here. But whenever you book an appointment with someone and it's a phone call appointment, the way we're doing it is that we're sending them a series of sequences that they must watch or they should watch through text message and emails. And those sequences include information that sets clear expectations or works their mindset. So for example, it could be videos about what's going on during the recession, right? You can have a 5-minute video where you are explaining, look, right now we've been in this market for such a long time. Right now we are enduring this market. And what we're doing for homeowners, such as Sophia, you can include a testimonial, is to help them through this way, blah, blah, blah. You can have a series of videos before you actually have the phone call conversation, when you book a phone call appointment, to help them with their mindset, all right? That's part of the pre-sales process. So you basically are going to train them to be a great person on the phone call. And if you have those type of sequences, if you have that part in your drip before the phone call in the reminders, then people are going to be seeing you more of as an authority, especially if you have, let's say you can go as fancy as creating a landing page, that the landing page has thank you for booking your appointment, and then a few video of welcoming them to your company, and then maybe two to five videos that covers very mindset topics about what's happening in the recession or what's happening with the housing market or how you help homeowners, plus a few testimonials on that. You can put it into a landing page. All right, I didn't cover this. I'm not going to cover this here, but that's something you guys can do. And James Hodges does it all the time. I do it all the time. But that helps you once you book an appointment with someone on the phone call, and especially use a tool like Calendly or your appointment tool in the calendar. And follow up like a beast. Okay? All right. I don't know why it says find your clients, but follow up. This guy's going to take over here, and I'm going to cover a few points in here. So we're going to, after they have responded, after the lead has been generated or regenerated, we're going to immediately deliver what they requested from you, and you call them, all right? And have instant automations that sound like human, that sparks conversations through email and text message. We do this all the time through Facebook ads and Google ads, where someone comes in, and even it's at 9:30 p.m., we have programmed the system so that at 9:30 p.m., 1 minute after, bless you, 1 minute after, there is a message saying, hey, I just got your information about selling your house. Tell me what's going on. When would be a great time to talk? And then 2 minutes after, if they don't respond, then we will send a question like, hey, so just curious, what got you selling your house? So just conversational responses, follow up using SMS because they're right there responding either through your text message or through your Facebook ads or Google ads is essential for lead conversion. They likely will not respond to you the first time they reach out to you. Conversations usually start at the 4th to 11th touch of getting the lead or getting the lead once again. Long-term follow-up is key, at least 180 days. Text is the best way to stay relevant. Email works, just not as well, but it works for real estate investors, homeowners, but it works. I've seen people reply to our emails, and it works. And we always recommend an inside sales agent slash follow-up specialist slash appointment setter for the long term using scripts you put together. Not everyone is ready today. So that's why having an appointment setter team, lead manager team is crucial. Let me see. How do I? So we use a system that is developed under Go High Level. And we made it for wholesalers specifically. But this system, it keeps you organized. It has automated 180-day SMS and RVM follow-up systems to assist your lead managers, to assist your appointment setters, automated emails, two-way text, calls, funnels, appointment reminders, no-show, recovery, and so much more. We develop all those type of systems. For example, whenever you sign up with Hustle Media, it automatically is yours. Automatically, you can use it. If you use another system that doesn't have this, I mean, that's great, but you would be going away from all these benefits that, for example, Go High Level has, all right? And we call it REI Rocket Force. A few examples is that whenever we respond quickly and whenever we have these proper systems, then we are able to get not only the notes of the leads that we have, but here we have a conversation, this guy responded, our automated SMS, our second automated SMS was like, quick question, why are you looking to sell your house and how soon? And then he told us behind in taxes, raise up or lose it. We kind of noticed the motivation once again, and then we record a phone call conversation. We find out that there's an underlying motivation just by literally like having a great follow-up process. And for example, if for people that do not respond to you right now, having a long-term sequence is crucial because as an example here, it was an automated SMS that it was a 17 touch, and we said, hey, I was just about to close your file, have reached out to you a few times, still would love to earn your business and help you. Do you at least have 2 minutes to chat over the phone? She went ahead and had like a huge long message saying, I'm sorry, I lost my phone, I'm going through a divorce, I'm losing my home. Crazy. And then, so I'm left with selling my house so that I can hopefully walk away with a little bit of money to buy a trailer for my kids and to move into. I'm scared to death, and I'm left with 4 kids and a mortgage that is crazy expensive, our closed business that I can't do anything until whatever. This was a motivated and distressed seller that if we had forgotten about them, we haven't used neither reactivation campaigns, long-term follow-up sequences, or so on. We probably, our client wouldn't have gotten that deal if the system didn't work for them. So that's one example. This was a 17 touch. After SMS, emails, phone calls, RVMs, nothing. And then 17 SMS, boom. We got them back into the pipeline. And this ended up being a deal. All right, so you go.
Yes, so huge. One thing that has been working for me a lot is sending them a text message. So, and I talked to Esteban about this yesterday. Is sending just a message that has that has just their first name and a question mark. And a lot of you guys only reach out from. I did this with you, Justin. I don't know if you remember, but I definitely did this with you. A lot of you guys just use CRM in your dialer, which is fine, and you should do that because that's where you can record everything. However, a lot of times when I get a green message, I don't know if it's a real person. But blue messages, this is the iPhone at leverage, is I will send someone a message with their first name, question mark. Ashley, Brandon, Justin, and I get the response. As soon as I get the response, I know that, okay, you're it, like, this is you. So my ultimate goal is just say, let me just get the first response out the way and then move on to the next step. Then, you know, that's where you can get into different types of scripts, right? Introduce yourself, right? Touch base. You never want to be upset at them. Like I wasn't mad. Justin's like, yo, Justin, what the heck, man? I was texting you from another number, and I never did that. I just assumed that you weren't getting my messages. I just assumed that something was lost in translation. And this is funny because I talked to Esteban about this as well yesterday. Is in marketing agencies, which is what I sold before, ad services. We have to close right now. Like the goal is like we got to get the deal right now. For all you guys, like you guys can get a deal within 24 hours the first time talking to someone. It's very unlikely. It has to be a process. So you guys have to become masters at follow-up all the time. Touch base over and over and over and over again. And really look at ways of touching base with them that are just abnormal, right? This is incredible and this will help you out a lot. What I do differently is I send voice messages. I'll send a video. I'll send testimonials. I'll send gifts. I'll send memes. I'll go out of my way and make it a little bit different than what most people are used to. And then on top of that, Esteban touched on the offers. I think the offers is great, right? That's the hook. Like, what is getting them to buy? And right now, the recession's coming. Everyone's feeling it. We actually read an article yesterday that DoorDash fired 1,000 people in the past like a few weeks. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company. So if this is this happening to DoorDash, to Meta, to Berkshire? This is the one that Warren Buffett owns. I forgot what it's called. They've all been firing left and right, and these are really, really high-level companies. That means that the regular mom and pop are probably going to lose their job, right? They're probably going to have to sell their house, and this is a time where we're able to give back and help them sell their home so they can have some money going into the recession. So this is a really, really good time to leverage a lot of that stuff and reaching out to people outside of your CRM, right? Building relationships with everyone. Again, have them in your CRM, have these automations, but also go out of your way and create the blue messages and send them the blue messages, send them the voice messages, and just connect with them on a personal level. And you never know, right? The ultimate thing is, how do we build relationships with people so that way, number one, they can be a client of ours so we can service them. Number two, we can ask for referrals. And number three, maybe they want to sell a home in the future, right? That's the ultimate goal, is how do you get more out of what you already have instead of just focusing on the old school ways of following up. One other thing I was going to mention on follow-up is just to do it from a place of care. This is something, again, we talked about a couple days ago. Esteban was touching base with someone, and he was being pretty aggressive. And I told him, like, yo, dude, you cannot be this. And it wasn't like if I read it and I didn't know I didn't know Esteban, I might think like, oh, he's coming at me. Where I come from a place of concern. Like if someone doesn't book a call with me or someone doesn't, touch base with me again, whatever, I'm coming from a place like, hey, is everything okay? That's my ultimate favorite question. First name, question mark. They respond, yes, who's this? Hey, Justin, this is Omir. We had a call yesterday. Couldn't get a hold of you. Is everything okay? Just that shows that I'm concerned. I'm not like, hey, I'm looking for you to buy a client. Hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. But it comes from a place of care, and it doesn't come from a place of like, I'm trying to attack them. I'm not saying that Esteban was attacking someone, but it came off a little bit aggressive. I told him like, hey, if you take a step back and you put yourself in their position, if this guy got in a car wreck, if something happened with his mom, dad, the sales call, selling their home is like the last priority on their head because this is such a process to go through. So that's why always making sure you're checking in with them, you're actually conversing with them, and truly caring about them is huge. And this is, again, why I use the iPhone trick. I actually have 3 numbers, by the way. There's an app called Text Now. I highly recommend it, Text Now. So you'll have your CRM, your dialer, you have your iPhone, and then there's an app called Text Now, which is a free app. It gives you a number, and it gives you you can text, and you can call on there. It is green text. It's not like an iPhone. But I have 3 numbers. So whenever someone ghosts me, I text them a message in from other numbers. And eventually I'm going to get a hold of you, 100%. And if I don't get a hold of you, my appointment setter is going to get a hold of you. And if this appointment setter, then that appointment setter is going to get a hold of you. The ultimate goal is, how do I just get a hold of someone? And if they don't want to do business, no worries at all, but at least I know you don't want to do business. But being left, I don't know, is the worst feeling in the world. It's almost like someone says, it's better to go after something and not get it and fail at it than regret not ever doing it. And that's how I think about follow-up, is just going after it every single time and doing whatever it takes to get a hold of someone over and over again. Cool?
I think the next one is you.
You have the clicker? Oh. Scale remotely. Get A players. Okay, cool. So, awesome. Well, Esteban and I actually did this presentation, form of this in a sense, with another group a few weeks ago, I would say. And some of you guys have already hired people outside of North America, and obviously there's an advantage of hiring people in North America. We're not silly, we understand that. However, like I mentioned, there's such incredible talent in Latin America, especially because they are so closely cultured to the U.S. They're very alike. They watch the same movies, they listen to the same music, they like the same food. They're the same people, they're just in a different part of the world. And what we've noticed are, these are just like the 8 things, and there's obviously a lot more of why you should hire someone outside of North America, right? Number 1 is loyalty. To them, being loyal is everything. To them, starting a family and living, it's their very old school of way of living. They want to be loyal to each other. So for them, finding a job that they just want to stick in, they don't want to move job to job to job and have multiple careers. They just want to stick to one thing, grow at it, and get better and better. Another thing, obviously, is cost. That's huge. You guys are saving, thousands of dollars a month hiring someone that is just as talented as someone in the U.S., and you don't have to pay There's number 7. There's the benefits, right? So there's no need for benefits right now, which we will talk about in the future once we start doing it with our team members. Time leverage is huge, right? You can hire 3, 4 cold callers for the price of 1 or 2 cold callers in the U.S. You can hire 3 or 4 in North America, or South America, and that's huge. Number 4 is experience. Believe it or not, a lot of these virtual assistants that are coming from Latin America are a lot more experienced than people in the U.S. because they've been doing this a lot longer. I think a lot of you guys have experience with Filipino virtual assistants. They're actually the most experienced. However, I think some of you, including myself, we've had some not the greatest experiences with some of them. So we're kind of like, I want to work with Latin American, which is totally fine. I get it. What we've noticed is, man, if you find the right Filipino people, you find the right Indian people, you find the right Pakistanis, I mean, they're just as good as people in Latin America. The biggest issue with them is the time zone. They're living in a whole different time zone, so it's not something that they're able to work in the future. That's something that's up to them. My Filipino team, you guys have dealt with them, some of you guys, Michael, and obviously my recruiters, they're incredible. They're like as good as employees anywhere in the world, in my opinion. The other thing is their expectation, like they just want a steady career. They just want to get paid, take care of their family, buy a home. They're not looking to become multi-million, trillion-dollar. They're not looking to become the next Jeff Bezos. They just want to be able to take care of their family. And if you can help them you can help them with that, it's game over. W2 versus W9, right? So this is huge. This number 6 and 7 coincide with each other. When you hire an American employee, most of the time, you have to hire them as an employee. If you hire someone as a contractor in the U.S., this is actually very important for you guys to listen to. If you hire them as a contractor in the U.S., but you treat them like an employee, making them work specific hours, go to the office, that is illegal. And if they find out, you can get absolutely screwed by that, 100%. You can't even really do this with virtual assistants, except the rules are pretty gray in other countries. But if you hire someone to be an acquisitions manager, to be a lead manager, and you're telling them, these are your hours, you have to come into the office, this and this and this, and you're not giving the benefits, and they are treated like an employee, that's beyond illegal, and if they find out, you can get screwed, big time, because now you're dealing with the government, you're not dealing with like the company anymore. And then last but not least is the future, right? In the end of the day, guys, the world that we're moving into, I was blessed enough to be in the space pre-COVID, a couple years before COVID, so I've been working remotely since 2018, and obviously COVID kind of shifted us. I always talk to people about the COVID era, because before that was the 2008 era. Like, what was your business before 2008? What was your business after 2008? It's the same thing now with COVID, and now we're entering recession in the next 1 or 2 years. That's what people are going to talk about it. What was your business before 2023 and then after 2023? And this is the future. People are wanting to work from home. They don't want to be dragged to an office to do the same exact work. They realized, holy crap, I am just as productive. The business is growing. In our space, and Esteban is actually one of them, his business 5 to 10x during COVID, while a lot of businesses went under. We've had clients that literally skyrocketed to millions of dollars during COVID because they were just as efficient as going to an office. Right? I think there are benefits of going to an office, but again, that's where you have to hire employees, put them on W-2s. It's just a bigger cost effective. So just something to consider. We'll talk about this.
Yeah, so this is like a normal map of what would, for example, if you go to a marketing campaign, you do a marketing campaign, let's say with Hustle Media or anyone, would be like SMS, cold calling, PPC, Facebook ads, direct mail, whatever. You guys do, where's the clicker? There you go. There you go. I messed up. But so this will be the journey of launching a marketing campaign without support, without a VA. So you launch the campaigns, you start getting leads, and you start getting appointments. Let's say that's month 1, right? Then around here, month 1, month 2, or even month 1, that could happen, start getting contracts and you start getting busy, right? Month 2 comes in, your pipeline starts becoming more full because marketing, you can't just stop marketing and just like work 1 week and the other one doesn't. So leads are going to continue coming, right? Full pipeline, you become more stressed about it. Then you go to having no time for nothing, plus losing opportunities, and then usually it's around month 4 where you're kind of back to the hamster wheel. You're just like, can't bear with anything, can't do anything. Yes. And if you do it with support, such a great VA from Latin America and an A player, like what James Hodges mentions all the time, now you launch their campaigns, right? You start with a follow-up and you give them training, right? Let's say that they're fresh about the campaign and so on. You start with follow-up automations, we start with follow-up training and so on. And then you start getting the contracts, you start getting leads, appointments, contracts. Whenever we're in a point where like we're feeling that our pipeline is so full and we start becoming a little bit more stressful about it, we need to be able to hire VAs. We need to be able to hire people. Whenever you're like about 70% of like of capacity, it is the best time to actually hire a person for that specific production role or for that specific production campaign, because otherwise you're just going to go back to the hamster wheel and you're not going to be able to have time for anything. What sanity is back, especially if you hire an A player, and then you'll be able to scale, hire, more operational roles and so on. And this is how we do it in our company. So this is our 16-week ramp-up period where we will scale by hiring people and have more ad spend into our marketing campaigns. And that's essentially how we plan out our first 16-week ramp-up period. So that's just one example of it. Ultimately, our mission at at Remote Latinos, is to help 10,000 businesses just like yours, real estate investors and wholesalers, scale with high margins by hiring freaking awesome virtual assistants from Latin America. And my personal mission is to change the way that we look at term of virtual assistant. So I've actually brought this up a bunch of times that people, they think of a VA and they think basic. They just think like the lower level type of roles. They think that they can only do texting, replying, doing a bunch of admin stuff and things like that. But if you think about it, a virtual assistant is just someone that works online, remotely, anywhere in the world, but that does not dictate and is not a factor of intelligence or capacity. It is not. So we are all virtual assistants. No one here is better than anyone. And this is something that we believe is that I don't care how much money you make, we're all the same. And if you were to hire someone great here from this, for example, from this city, from Playa Carmen, and you tell them I have a real estate investing company, you see that they're great at opening up and connecting with people, at having a great customer experience, or great at being able to negotiate pricing or whatever, and they speak perfect English, why not trying them out for an interview for as a disposition manager? There's so many amazing individuals in Latin America that we're missing out just because we haven't traveled. And one thing that impacted me is that if you don't travel, obviously you're not going to be able to see what's around the world. And 30%, someone mentioned that 40% of people don't have a passport, so they don't travel. They're not able to see what's outside of where they live in the U.S. So that's why it's huge that we're able to understand them. Go for it.
Yeah, so it's just huge. It's like a lot of you guys are working with us right now, and you guys have hired virtual assistants, lead managers. We're going to talk about some acquisition stuff that we do as well. The ultimate goal is to give people, before I move to the next slide, is to give people an opportunity to grow and develop. The number one reason that virtual assistants don't stick to a company is because they get way too complacent and the owner is just like, this is not worth it anymore, let's part ways. Or the person just wants to grow and develop, make more money, and there's not an opportunity for that, so they leave. Because we see that every single day. We recruit 50 to 100 people per day that go through our entire funnel, that we qualify and make sure that we vet them pretty hardcore. So if you're looking to build a long-term team, which is the ultimate goal, you don't want to build a team once and then keep having to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild. You have to find people that are, number one, talented, that have the work ethic, but also on top of that, give them the roadmap and the blueprint of what this position looks like in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next year. How can they make more money? How can they increase their base? How can they earn bonuses, incentives, and whatnot? So that's really super duper important to us. Before hiring anyone, this really is whether you hire VAs or not. This is hiring in general. But specifically hiring people that English is not their first language. I'm actually wondering who here in the room speaks another language besides me and Esteban?
What do you speak? German?
German. Fluent?
Yes.
Amazing. So there's literally just 3 of us that speak. 4? You speak Spanish? Nice. So 4 of us here speak two other languages. And I'm telling you guys right now because I'm actually the perfect example because Esteban still speaks Spanish perfect. I'm assuming you speak German. My Hebrew is pretty good, but it's not that good. And I've taken sales calls with people in Israel, and it's really tough. And I speak fluently. I'm from Israel, born, raised. Like I speak Hebrew to my dad. And I realized I was like, holy crap! Like this is kind of hard. Like I'm speaking a language that I was born and raised in, not my first language anymore. That was my first language at one point, and now we're asking people that this is not their first language to do things that an American would just do faster. So like. This just tells us that you need to be a little bit patient with them. And we're going to touch base on that. But so this is why having these 10 things are super important, whether you hire an American or a Latin American, but in hiring in general. So the first thing is having core values, 3 to 5 core values that are about your mission, your vision, where you're trying to take this company to. There's a really good book called Traction that really breaks down how to create your core values. Not like be happy, be positive, and make money. Like it has to be really, every single bullet point has to be very, really impactful. The other thing is, we're gonna keep touch base on this, is having systems in place. And obviously, you don't have to have 100% everything ready, like you're launching, going to the moon. Like that's not it. But you have to have most systems in place, right? Like having Slack, having ClickUp, Monday, Facebook ads, Asana, SOPs. If a person comes into a group, into your company, and there's nothing in there's nothing set up, it's going to be hard for us to hire someone from you because now I'm like, wait a second, I'm hiring you someone that's really good that would go work for any other company and you have nothing in place. If this person's good at what they do, they're going to come in, they're not going to want this job, right? That's actually a really good way to figure out if someone's good or not, is if they come into a company that has nothing in place. Another thing is having outlined strategies, right? Tasks that you need completed, right? What does that look like? What does the first day look like? What does the first week look like? First month, first 90 days. Like having it, literally, this is part of like having quote unquote KPIs in place. This is part of that. This is one of my favorite things in the world, is having done the task yourself. A lot of you are hiring cold callers and hired cold callers, but you've never cold called yourself. You're literally too scared to cold call. So you're like, I'm going to hire someone in the Philippines. I'm going to hire someone in Latin America, which is totally fine. You can go ahead and do that. But just know that if you're scared of cold calling, it's going to be hard for you to train and help them level up unless you're investing a lot of money in coaching them, right? In the beginning, when you're hiring the first few cold callers, you should be the one training them. It should be you. But the only way you can train someone cold calling is that if you've done the cold calling yourself. If I was to train someone in cold calling, which I've done many times, how I would train them is I would cold call in front of their face so they can see how I'm cold calling. And then I would have them cold call in front of me, and we can start, they almost shadow me back and forth, and we can literally see, this is just an idea, but we can see, they can see how I do it, and I can see where their flaws are at. Another thing is, know how many hours you're looking for per day / per week. Some of you guys think you need full time, but you only have 3 to 4 hours a day of work. Sometimes you have less than that. You're like, I've hopped on calls. People are like, yeah, I just need someone for like 6, 7 hours a day. I'm like, what do you need done? I just need like 30 calls made a day. Like, okay, that's probably gonna take 1 or 2 hours. Like, you don't need someone full time, right? Because if you're asking for someone's full time commitment, that means that this person is not allowed to get another job during those set hours. But if you're asking for part-time, well, now they have the ability, they have to support their family, right? So like, they've got to do what they got to do. So know how many hours per day, per week you're needing. Number 6 is super crucial as well. Have a flawless onboarding process. A lot of you guys have gotten onboarded with us. We do that same thing, and we go even deeper with our own team members. Sometimes our onboarding calls take like 2 hours because I set such clear expectations about what this role, what this job is, and what everything I'm looking for. Otherwise, they're going to be like, I just get started. Like, people hire someone and then they next day they train. They don't even have an onboarding process. Go over the company expectations. Here's what the job. I even have someone usually from one of the team members on the call that's going to lead them. So everybody's on the same page about what needs to be said and done. Another thing is, I'm hoping that, everybody here is doing a few deals a month, right? Or you have at least some money saved up. Otherwise, if you have nothing saved up, it's going to be hard for you to hire anyone because if you can't pay us, you definitely can't pay them because you're paying them a lot more than you're paying us. Invest into mentorships like this, right? This is a great one. Obviously, I want to give James the props. Every person that I've ever talked from REIGC, I'm not kidding, 100% of the people give you so much praise and so much props, like, no, whether they work with us or not, every single person was like, this is incredible. Even if it's been 2-3 weeks, they're getting so much support, so much help, so much. The biggest thing about coaching is just having someone there. Me and Esteban have invested into coaching where it's just like a course, where you guys have support and you guys are getting on calls with them. That's huge. So this is a really big one. Number 9, set aside times for daily meetings and daily trainings. I'm hoping that if you guys have a team members, you guys are at least talking to them every single day. I recommend having meetings in the beginning, daily meetings. It has to be 30 minutes to an hour, either daily huddles, including trainings. And last but not least is something that Esteban and I have been doing for the last year or so, is an EOD report. So I actually don't use platforms like Screenshot Monitor or Hubstaff, which are both really good tracking companies. What they do is they track the hours and the production of your assistants. They're actually really good softwares. However, I never use them, and I don't want to put my team on there since we've never used them. But what I do is my team says good morning in the beginning of the day. So everybody says good morning. That's when I see them clocking in, basically. And then their EOD report and end of day report is about 5 to 10 questions that have to do with 2 things: their work and their personal life. Because if my team's not taking care of themselves, it's going to be very hard for them to be here. So I track their, and obviously I don't know what they're doing, but if they're telling me, I'm just going to take their word for it. But this is basically their clock out form. This is something that's worked for us tremendously. So what should you be hiring first? Well, it's pretty simple, right? In the beginning, you want to make sure that you're getting sales in. So anything that has to do with sales, from cold caller, SMS specialist, lead manager, follow-up specialist, data scraper, social media manager. What's ideal for a lot of you guys that I've talked to is you guys want one person to do all of this, right? Which I get. However, the most realistic one is to hire one that's really, really good at one of them, and then build them and train them to do other things. Everyone in my company is multi-talented because of their ability to learn and to be coachable, but also my trainings. So everybody in my company does do many things, but like if you guys have a crazy long list, maybe cold calling is really good. If you guys have a lot of warm leads, it's SMS specialist and lead manager, right? And again, this is why training them and having the systems in place to actually get them to get good at any of these is very, very possible. There's a thing that we were taught in our previous coaching company, which is SACA, setting appointments and closing appointments, setting appointments and closing appointments. That's really, in the beginning of the business, that's the bloodline of the business. That's how you're going to pump up sales and so on and so forth. So let's outline a little bit of this role. We talked about systems, right? At least 80% of the way. Again, not 100%, but have most of the systems in place. If you were new in this position, you've never done anything like this before, and you were working for your company, are you set up for success? I ask that every single time. If we get you someone amazing, speak great English, they have experience and skills, but maybe not specifically in real estate investing, are they set up for success with your company right now? Right. Another thing is have proven scripts in place. I know that's something that you guys help with. Is giving scripts for cold calling, SMS, text messaging, and so on and so forth. Another thing is know which platforms are most effective for your market, right? Is it better to SMS people? Is it better to cold call people? Is it better to direct mail? Yesterday, James touched on doing everything, right? Which ultimately you should definitely do everything. But you're also going to notice that, for instance, Garrett, your direct mail is really, really good. And then someone here has really, really good cold calling. Okay, you got to go all in on those and then slowly diversify, right? Slowly figure out, okay, let me try Facebook ads. Let me try SMS messages. Let me try all these other things, RVM, PPC. Ultimately, you want to get to them, but you really want to find out when you're first hiring in your first few hirings, which is the best so you can really go all in on. Another one is, remember, this is very important, you are the expert, not them. You are the expert, not them. Unless you're hiring a really high-level executive, you're hiring a sales trainer, you're hiring COO or CMO. Okay, they should be. When you're hiring your first 5 to 10 to 20 people, you're the expert. They're coming to you so they can learn and get better, and eventually they become the expert. My goal and my job right now as the CEO of Remote Latinos in Feva is I'm looking to make the people that I've hired, I'm looking to make them better than me. And I'm looking to hear them out and ideas. I'm like, okay, how can we improve the process? How can we find better recruits? How can we get more clients? How can we do this? How can we do that? Whatever the case is. So you are the expert, not them in the beginning, right? Obviously, like we talked about, utilizing CRM. CRM or dialers, whatever it is, from FreedomOS to Launch Control, Go High Level is something that we use. And then again, last but not least, is having a tracking software to track KPIs. I really like this software, KPItracker.io. Really, really easy to put the numbers in, and it gives you the exact stats, A through Z, about how many calls were made and so on and so forth. One thing that Cole Gordon harps on really hard is the numbers, right? How many calls did you take? How many showed up? How many no-showed? How many offers did you make? How many what was your cash collected? Da-da-da-da-da. Now, I know that's really for coaching, consulting, and agencies, but I do definitely know that in the end of the day, business is business. This is a random question, but is anyone familiar with Alex Hermosi here? Yeah? Nice. He is he's the Tom Brady of digital marketing. And he's a lot younger, but he's the absolute GOAT of digital marketing. He has a quote here that says, build a company based on systems, scale a company based on people. I highly recommend you guys look him up on YouTube. Him and his wife have built and scaled companies. I actually got coached by him about 2 years ago before anybody knew him. I would say I met Alex when he was broke. He was only doing $30 million a year. But now he's at like worth $200 million with his wife. And they have a company called acquisitions.com. They provide so much value. It's not specific for real estate. It's just business. It's hiring, it's recruiting. It's anyone that wants to grow and scale, I always recommend them. This is like, if there's any value we can give you guys away from this thing, is go search him up, go search his wife up. I promise you guys are going to learn amazing things. Follow them on Instagram. Alex, I need my referral commission at some point. Okay, daily trainings. So this is super important, obviously, when you're hiring people. Again, a lot of this stuff, guys, I know we're talking about remote Latinos and remote workers, which is obviously what we do and we have pride in. But this can also be for your in-house. Maybe some of you guys are watching this like, you know what? I think that we need an acquisitions person in-house. We need a lead manager in-house. No worries. If that's what you guys want to do, God bless. Like, we just want you guys to win. This right here, either way, you still want to have meetings that have to do with this. And this is something that I learned, actually, because if you guys go look at this, in the very, very first bullet point, it says wins. And I did not do this. And I've been in the space for a long time. I never started my meetings with wins. I always start my meetings with, all right, what's the agenda for today? Who's upset? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Where now, the first thing that we go over in our meetings is wins. All right, talk about wins. What was your win? And I prefer company wins, client testimonials, candidate testimonials, but it could also be personal wins. Like, let's say you're starting the day with, you've been hitting your workout consistently. Let's say you're reading a book and you learned something. Let's say, you went on a date with a girl of your dreams. Whatever the case is, start the day with wins. So it's like a positive, so people are like looking forward to those meetings. I think a lot of meetings, and I was completely guilty of this as of recent, is that we start with meetings and it's like, oh, well, who's upset? What's the agenda? Who do we have to help? Who do we like? And it's always like, I don't want to say negative, but there's always so much pressure. Then we move into like KPIs for the day, for the week. What's the goal? What do we need to accomplish? We also talk about the previous day. We can talk about what needs to be improved, what scripts are working, right? We dive into topics. Obviously, every single day it's a little bit different, but there's certain things that we cover every day, which is the wins and the KPIs. We also talk about every single day, like what is being sent versus where, if I'm hiring an appointment setter or a lead manager, a cold caller, right? We can kind of dive into the platform. And then one thing that's super duper crucial is right here, is having them shadow you, right? If having them shadow you and watch you close, or maybe you have a virtual assistant already in place, having them shadow someone in the first week and literally have them share their Zoom, share the call, and then like sit there and just listen. Because we're not in an office, right? When I used to work at cars, I used to sell cars back in 2016, and I literally remember shadowing someone. I'm literally just walking around with this person like I'm like his assistant, like just walking around and I'm just listening to him. I've provided no value. I'm just there just to listen and take note of exactly what's happening. And I think if you guys can do this with your virtual assistants online, that's super duper crucial. Because this is so important, I want to make sure, does anybody have questions on anything that we went over in the last like few slides? We're clear? Awesome. I'll let you take a picture. Cool. Oops. All right. Once you guys have this first person in place, or let's say first few, then now it's time to decide what is the next move. Are you guys gonna double down on what you currently have, or are you gonna go in a different direction, right? And this can, again, let's say you hired a cold caller. Sometimes it's wiser to double down and get a couple more cold callers so you get more lead flows. But sometimes your cold caller works so well that he's so efficient, his English is so good that this person basically works like two people. So maybe the next step is now to get a lead manager or go in another direction with an SMS specialist, right? And this is where you guys have to figure out, okay, here's where my business is right now. Here's where I want to get to, right? And this is where REIGC can obviously help you guys out, depending on your goals. The more team members you guys have, the more pressure it is on you to really grow. And someone told me this is so important because this hits my heart every time. You might be at a place right now where your business is, you're doing well, you're making a lot of money, and you're not steadily growing to where you want to, but you're doing well. You're making money, let's say you take home $10,000 to $20,000, $30,000 a month, but you're not growing. But just because you don't want to grow doesn't mean your team members don't want you to grow, because they want to grow, they want to develop, they want to make more money, right? And if you are not growing and they're just feeling stuck, they're going to take their talents and go somewhere else. So just because you don't want to grow doesn't mean your team members don't want to grow. And the more you grow, the more pressure is on you, especially going to a recession. And again, these countries don't really know what we're about to go through, right? They go as we go. So they're gonna get it. They're gonna get hit first, right? Because they're gonna be the first people getting fired because they're like, well, let me get rid of my virtual assistants, right? And we've already seen people firing them because their business is not anywhere they want it to be. So just something to consider. Like if you're not looking to grow, just consider, you might have to get rid of everyone. All right, I'm almost done talking, I promise. Okay, mistakes. This is huge. This is huge if you guys hire through us, if you hire on your own, whatever the case is. The first one is falling in love with a candidate based off their video and resume. Guys, I am the worst at this. Literally, I'll get a video because I get to see our candidates before anybody, myself and Esteban, and we're like, I did this twice in the last month. I'm like, dude, look at this guy's resume and look at his video. Perfect English, born, raised in the U.S., moving to Mexico, once a very reasonable salary. Let's hire him. Let's not even, I do this as a recruiter, and I'm telling you guys, this is the worst mistake. The number one reason people, at least based on our data, the number one reason people don't stick to their candidates is because they hired the wrong person the first time, and they fall in love with a candidate. And look, there are candidates you're going to love more than the others, sure, but do not fall in love with the people based on their video and resume. That is so silly because I can lie on my resume and I can make a video that makes me look like Brad Pitt, right, especially with AI, and you're like, wow, this guy has everything it takes, which is false. I do have what it takes, but not Brad Pitt-wise. All right, another one is treating each candidate differently and having them go through different processes. So let's say you have this person do this skill test and this person do this skill test, and then you get an interview and you ask different questions. You're not going to be able to really track down what's being said, being done. It has to be the same process for the same positions. Of course, if it's like an SMS specialist, cold caller, two different things. Making the interview short due to a lack of time. This is a huge one because sometimes we are back-to-back on interviews, especially if you guys hire through us, we give you guys 30 minutes with each person. Just schedule another interview. Don't just cut it short and just all right, we're going to move on, this guy's good or not. Schedule an interview, that's huge. This is if you guys hire without us, right? So if you guys hire on your own, good luck. Not having any barrier to entry, where you're just, here's the interview link, good luck, just book a call with me. That's one of the worst ideas ever. Interviewing just one person, really bad idea. Please do not just interview one person. This is another one. Hiring from a place of desperation. You're literally and I get on calls with some investors, and they're like, I need an SMS specialist. I'm getting all these leads. I need someone by tomorrow. I'm like, dude, how are you going to hire the right person? You're literally asking to hire the wrong person, and you're basically saying, I need to get very lucky with this person. Instead of getting very skilled at hiring, taking my time and finding the right person. Right, so you always want to hire from a place of abundance, not from a place of desperation. So if you're starting to get a lot of leads and it's being consistent, in your head you should be like, I should probably hit up Remote Latinos and get someone from them. Or I should probably start posting job ads and start looking for someone instead of waiting for the last moment, right? You guys have all heard hiring slow, firing fast. That's obviously, hiring fast, firing slow. I said it wrong yesterday too. Interviewing too many candidates. You really don't need to interview more than 5. I think 5 is even a lot. 3 to 5 is a good range. Not really knowing what you need. You come in the interview I need a SMS specialist, but I also need a cold caller, and I need a lead manager, and I need acquisitions, and I need transaction coordinator. Can I get everything in one? I actually have had someone say that before, which is absolutely bananas. And so know exactly what you need and why. What you need this, why do you need this? Okay, because I'm going to ask you that if we get on a call. You said, I need a lead manager. Okay, how many leads are you getting? Where are we at? Where are you getting leads from? Because I'm going to ask you all these questions, and if you don't know, it's going to be hard for me to want to partner up with you and finding someone really good. And then, for the love of God, guys, if you guys ever do this, we're going to roast. We have a specific channel now when we roast people on people that take interviews while they drive. if you do this, you're gonna be on a Slack channel, and eventually I'm gonna make a video with everyone that ever literally interviewed. And by the way, we do this with candidates too. Which candidates they get disqualified, they never get another chance. With you guys, of course, like we're like, yo, come on, guys, why are you driving and interviewing at the same time? I actually made a post about why people suck at hiring, which will, if you guys get to this, and there's literally like 30 or 40 people commented like, this is why, this is why, this is why, this is why. It's actually a really good one. All right, you want to take over?
Sure, let's go.
All right. All right, let's talk about something that I have, thankfully, and it's patience. And because I'm very patient, I've been able to at hiring virtually and remotely. And it's not just because they are from another country or something. It's just like virtual communication. We have asynchronous communication whenever you send them a Slack message, and then it doesn't necessarily that they're not right there instantaneously. So they might, let's say they're doing some work and they might need a little bit of time to respond or to absorb things, capture things. So asynchronous communication might mess us up in our patience, but we gotta understand that asynchronous and synchronous communication, they're totally different, and we need to be able to take that into account when working remotely. So, for example, one thing they have to do with virtual assistants is that we have to be patient with your hiring if they're doing the following. So, first of all, we all come down from like North America, like everyone is like, if you tell someone and they're capable, great, okay, get it, I'm here. I'm in person, I get it, I'm gonna do it. Maybe they do a mistake, one or two, whatever, then you correct them, whatever. But like he said, sometimes whenever you're hiring a virtual assistant, and it's not only someone from another country, but it's virtual, and the communication is not properly given, like with clear set expectations and written communication as well, communication can get lost, and there is going to be a lot of miscommunication, and you're going to think, oh, this guy's not capturing whatever I'm saying. You have to be patient, and you have to be able to properly like deliver your communication. But if virtual assistants are showing up on time, asking tons of questions, they want to be part of your company, they're being resourceful, they're thinking outside the box, they're showing you potential, going above and beyond, helping you figure things out, and getting 1% better, give them patience. Look, right now, one of the biggest guys that I've hired, and he is right now one of our client success managers. He can become operations managers. He can become anything, honestly. He's from Bogota, Colombia. At the beginning, I was telling him, like, I was trying to figure out how I communicate with him and how he learns in a faster pace, because I was sending him a few messages, and I was not having too much time for him, or the manager was not able to properly communicate with this person. And we knew that he had all of this, but sometimes communication would get lost. And we were like, is it us? Is it them? Like, did we do a wrong hire? But he would show up with the best attitude. And right now, we're refining your asynchronous communication and making sure that you set proper expectations on how you communicate, written communication, and when to communicate, how to communicate. Then you're going to be finding those true A players from the people that you think that they're not there whenever you hire them. So patience is gonna be huge, guys, whenever you hire someone virtually, remotely, all right? Where do I find virtual assistants? This is something that we're gonna go over, and I'm gonna give you a full giveaway, a few tricks on how we do it. I did this, I launched some of the ads in order to hire people. First, the best websites to do this, to find talent on your own. Onlinejobs.ph, everyone knows that. LinkedIn, you can literally reach out to people that work in companies like, for example, Teleperformance in Mexico, in Colombia, in Venezuela, whatever. There's a huge company called Teleperformance that everything they do is their call centers for customer service, customer support, technical support, cold calling, whatever. And they are massive. They have like 400,000 like employees. And you can literally just poach them, go to LinkedIn and be like, hey, we are a company based in the US, and we're looking to hire Latinos, we're looking to hire remotely, we're looking to hire for this position with up to X amount of salary. There you can earn X amount of salary. You give them an offer, and you're going to be able to like poach them, have conversations with them. So we always tell them like you can earn up to $2,000 because with base plus commissions plus bonuses, they can definitely earn up to that. And then whatever it is that you do during the company throughout their career and all these ascensions that you give them, that's up to you, but this is the ultimate offer because I know that our employees can ultimately earn that. Facebook groups, huge. He does that all the time. We end up creating like Facebook groups that ultimately, what's up?
With Facebook groups, we don't create them. We actually find them. If you guys go to Facebook, a lot of you guys use it. You literally type in virtual assistants, cold callers, media buyers. You join them. There's thousands of people in there. There's one with like hundreds of thousands of people. Be careful though, because Facebook is one of the best platforms. There's also a lot of scammers out there. A lot. They're more on Facebook. We have gotten some. We actually, here's a quick story. We literally got someone really good for Facebook. They applied. Resume was perfect. Video impeccable. They get on the interview. They don't speak English. I'm not kidding. I was shocked. I was literally like, how did we let that slip? And that is because Facebook attracts, there's 1 billion active users on Facebook. So this is where the most amount of scammers are going to be. So be careful if you are going to use Facebook. Anything Facebook, even ads you can be a little bit, Esteban's going to go over it. You can have a lot of ways where filtration and barriers to entry.
Yeah.
But with groups, it's everyone and their mom is there. So
Yeah, don't hire the Nigerian prince, that they're like, hey, coming from Nigeria, you want to, all right. So Upwork, obviously, we actually use every single one of these platforms. Just like you guys have multiple lead generation channels for your company, we have multiple lead generation channels. We're looking to create our own platform tech coming up in the future, but we use every single lead generation channel possible. Upwork, Fiverr for more creative and stuff like that. Referrals, that's huge. We always ask every single virtual assistant, like, hey, if you have someone that is just like you, better, or maybe you think that fits the culture of the company, we're gonna give you a huge bonus. How much is it that we tell them that we give them? $50?
We give them $50, but if we hire within my company, we give them even a bigger bonus. One thing that you guys should check out, Ashley, Justin, if you guys already have, you should ask them for their own, before you guys come to us. Of course, I'd love to earn your business. We love working with you guys, but if you guys can get if they have someone that's really good, why not see what type of talent they have themselves, right? Some of my best clients that literally, the reason they love us is because I don't just care about just earning your business over and over again. It's because I tell you guys how to get your own people. And Eric, who's one of our best clients, he's hired 8 people from us. 2 of his VAs came from his 2 referrals. And he's like, yo, who do you guys know that could work here? And one of them is a sister, another one's a cousin, and it worked out amazing. So ask for referrals always. You can even ask it on the interviews. If maybe it didn't go, maybe it wasn't perfect, something like that. You can ask for referrals because you never know. These people know someone that knows someone that knows someone that might be an amazing fit.
Yeah, plus they know the culture of your company.
Sophia, so that literally just happened with Sophia.
Yeah.
He had a friend.
Yep.
She was like, yeah, she's looking for work. She has experience code.
Told me that yesterday, yeah.
I interviewed her and we hired her as a discount assistant.
Great.
That's
I'd love for you to talk about that in the camera at some point, right after this. Is that cool? All right, sounds good. All right, awesome. Indeed. What's that? Underrated. Look, guys, I did not know this, but there's everyone in South America uses Indeed to get jobs. And I'm and some of them, they would put their resume in American Indeed, in the US Indeed, and obviously just hoping to get a job in the US. But you go to Indeed Colombia, Indeed whatever, just Indeed itself, and even run ads on Indeed, you'll find great talent. You'll find people that are the platform looking for jobs, or some of them, they have put their resume in there, and you can reach out to them based on Indeed suggestions. You literally can put $2 to $5 a day on ads on Indeed, and you're gonna find that great people as well on Indeed. Facebook ads, that's another one, huge. If you run Facebook ads, it's much faster lead generation. Again, it's interruption marketing, but at least you will be able to have a place where people are living in every single day, because Facebook is also Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram work together, and if you do Facebook ads, that means that you're targeting those people that are in Facebook groups as well, actively looking for virtual assistant jobs, and just regular users, and then let's say they're working on a job and they're aspire that your offer is so good and they've been looking to like move to another opportunity, and then you get them with a Facebook ad or Instagram ad, boom, they apply and they go through our filtration process. I'm gonna show it to that. A step to take after you post job ads. All right, you wanna go for it?
Yeah, and we're also going to show you guys some of the job ads. Someone's going to show you guys some of the ads that work for him. So one of them is the job application. So you have the application. This is huge. This is where we disqualify 70-80% of people. We have like a 30-question application process, and there are questions that we're looking for pretty in-depth answers on at times, not every single question. But right there, we disqualify so many people. Like, yeah, I want a job. Here's an application process. Ooh, never mind. Immediately, that tells me this person's not going to cold call. They're not going to lead manage. They're not going to do anything, right? If you can't do a simple application process, it is not. We're not asking. I'm not doing math equations and asking them like, what's y equals blah 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 blah. I don't know. I don't even know math. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have your video introduction, right? So this is where, if you guys work with us, we present you guys video introductions immediately, but you guys can do this on your own, right? So you guys can ask for a 3 to 5 minute video talking about themselves, their experience, skills, why they're a good fit. This is a huge one that you guys have seen with us. They have to share their, first of all, they have to be on their computer. Second off, they have to go to speedtest.net, and they have to share their screen, and they have to go press go, and it'll show their internet speed. No more, what's your internet speed? Yeah, it's 70. Oh yeah? Okay, cool, I'll trust you. No. Speedtest.net, you have them share their screen. This is why they have to create a Loom video. They can really do it with any other video platform, Zoom, whatever. They have to share their screen, share their internet speed. This is a huge one. And then really anything that helps, right? Talk about all your previous, anything that I'm like, wow, this is great. I also don't like when people go over 5 minutes, but I have had people do that. We used to be pretty strict. We used to be like, it has to be 5 minutes. But sometimes people want to squeeze in a little bit more things, whatever the case is. This is a huge one, because we do this for you guys. But if you hire on your own, they have to follow up with you. Let me give you guys an amazing example. A few days ago, I interviewed a freaking rock star. Esteban, he was working, was listening to the questions, listening to her responses, stopped what he was doing, and looked at me, and he was like, wow, and literally started recording the interview, because he was like, this girl is so good. He asked me to ask her a few questions. Everything she answered, we were like blown away. We were literally ready to give her an offer, but we have a system, we have a process in place. Okay, I told her, this was on Tuesday, I told her, hey, Thursday before 2 p.m., follow up with me. So I gave them very direct instructions. Thursday before 2 p.m., I didn't say Wednesday, I didn't say Thursday at 6 a.m. would have been fine. But Thursday before 2 p.m., she didn't follow up with me. And then because I really liked her, I followed up with her, which I never do. And you know what she told me? Friday, she followed up, she messaged me then Friday, so an extra day after, so she already disqualified herself, but I'm like, you know, I really liked her, maybe there's something. She said, hey, I just had a personal emergency, I'm not looking for a job, thank you so much for the opportunity. And imagine if I gave her the opportunity, and I would have turned down the other 3 girls that were really good, now I have to restart the entire process, because I said no to these girls, and then I'm like, oh, never mind, she said no, you know what, I'm gonna take second best. This is why waiting, that extra waiting period, that 24 hours, it doesn't have to be, the reason I did 24 hours because I was busy, we went to an event all day Wednesday, but usually I do it within 24 hours. Another thing is, before they get on an interview, you guys, Ashley, Justin, you guys know this, they have to complete a skill test. I love doing this. I know some of you guys like to do mock call on the interview. That's fine. I just like for them to do something along the lines of their job. Even if it's a calling position, we can have them do like, we can have them set, like my hybrid, I'm looking for a hybrid closer, which sets appointments and also closes deals. So I give them 10 scenarios. How would you handle this? What would you do here? And I want to see them writing it down, because I know if they're a lead manager, not all day they're going to be spending on the phone. Sometimes they're going to be having to follow up with people, text people, right? If it's an SMS specialist, same thing. Another thing is personality test. There's a disc test that you guys can do for free. There's a 16 personality test. Honestly, this out of everything is like 5% of the choice I make, because I've lied on these tests a lot just to see what type of personality I can have. if I was another person. So I know if I'm doing that, maybe someone else is going to do that. So for me, this is like 5%. And then obviously, like I said, choose the 3 to 5 best people, right? So the 3 to 5 best people, they've completed a skill test. They've submitted the video with clear instructions, and the video is very clear. They've submitted an application that includes their resume, right? So they have put in work. And on top of that, there was one thing that I forgot to put a bullet point in here, is that they've done research on us. So they've done research on LinkedIn, on social medias. I've sent them a lot of times. I do this every time, actually. Now that we're hiring positions together, I have them watch an interview that Esteban did earlier this year that he talks about himself, his story. And I did the same thing about me, because the first people they have to be sold on is me, not my company, not the vision, the mission. That all. If we're selling virtual assistants today, but tomorrow we start selling printers, they've got to. And I want them to work with us. They've got to follow us. Right, so we are the most important people, not to sound egotistical, that they have to technically, fall in love and really want to work for. Everything else comes after that. So I have them watch the podcast, learn about us, social media. I'm literally giving them links, like very specific links. At times I even tell them to research us and so on and so forth, because again, it's super important. And we have really good SEO. So if they type in my name, I pop up. Esteban, on the other hand, he's a criminal, but on SEO, I don't know how that happened. But here's the real question. All of that takes a lot of time that we just went over, like a ton of time. So why, as a business owner, would you want to spend time doing everything on your own? Of course, there are times when you can ask for referrals, maybe you have some time and energy. That's completely on your own. Every business owner that works with us and ends up finding out, thank God we just saved so much time. That's really the ultimate, like our offer, just like for you guys are doing cash offer finance, whatever the case is. For us, it's saving you time. How can we help you save time, find the right person so you can focus on what you need to focus on from the beginning, right? Which is ultimately setting appointments, closing better deals, make your service better, enhancing your systems, and finding new ways to help sellers, right? So I think you guys know one of these people in the middle. There's Eddie Malouf. Elon, why'd you put Elon Musk in there? We have not worked with Elon Musk. That is not true. I've been hitting him up on emails, but he hasn't responded. I also know that, James, you were going to talk about us, so I don't know how much of this, do we want to continue with all this that's coming up? Because there's like 5, 6, 7.
More. Let's see, how much do we have?
We're pretty much at time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go for the sauce. All right. Can we do the sauce?
The sauce. You want me to?
The ads. I'm going to show the ads.
Oh, okay. Go
Yeah.
for it.
All right, cool. We had a lot.
Yeah, we had a lot. We had a lot more. It's okay. Sorry, we went in. We literally have spent like back to back.
We just realized that.
Yeah.
And we're ready to pour.
Yes.
All right. So ad scaling. So we're gonna we created systems to hire people, and obviously Fava had created a few things
Before we were tailoring to real estate investors. And when we found the remote Latinos, I came in and we put systems together that I've been building for my agency itself. And we're gonna basically blow up, just watch. And what we're gonna do is, that we are going to get people through ads. We get people through ads. I'm gonna show you exact ads that we actually do to get 20 cents leads of virtual assistants that fill out a 21-question survey. 20 cents. Some of them are like 39 cents or something like that we paid per lead. That's incredibly cheap. It's just a lot of work. Okay? Now, we built a Facebook campaign to get people to apply for any role. And we're gonna give you a few examples of how to do it and which are the ads that we do. People will know corporate job names, not niche names. So if you, for example, you're looking for a dispo manager and you put it in Indeed, like people are highly talented, skilled, but are not in the real estate investing niche, are not gonna understand what the hell is a dispo manager. So you have to be able to really position your ad in a way so that they understand it in a corporate level. They understand it in a regular non-real estate job level. And there's so many ways that you can label this, but the goal is to attract that talent. And then in the description, you're gonna be able to explain that it's a real estate investing company. Now, you gotta follow a framework, which is set up campaign plus a survey, and this is funnel. You're gonna run the ads, you're gonna get people to apply, you're gonna check their application, then you're gonna reach out and screen people. This is what takes the most amount of time and effort. And you're gonna book them for an interview for a 3-step process interview. This is what we do. Now, this is the exact ad that we use to get lead managers, all right? So, looking for remote work and you're good in sales and talking to people, earn USD and level up your career. Join one of the best real estate investing sales and marketing agencies in the USA. We need sales direct reps and cold call agents. English fluency required, 90% or above. Work from home. Salary up to $2,000 per month. Earn commissions to double your salary. Work anywhere and level up. Click and apply button below and follow the application process to be considered for this job.
Dang, look at that ad.
Looking for remote work and you're good. So look, this ad, I literally went and tested so many. I was looking at different companies that were giant companies that they hire people to work in Colombia, in Mexico, or whatever, but they tailor to US-based companies. And I reverse engineered them. I basically took billion-dollar companies' ads, I reverse engineer their process, and I reverse engineer what works for them and what has been working for me. And I created my own ad, and I created my own process towards that, towards the roles that we needed. So here, as you see this ad, offer is important. Offer, right? That's it, offer. Salary up in USD plus commissions up to $2,000 per month. Then here's a qualification, fluent English, minimum of 90%. People will understand. 90% is that they speak at least 90% of English fluency. Sales direct rep, cold call agent plus. And this one is key. Like whenever I remove this one, work from home, I got more expensive leads. But if you put work from home, which enhances the offer, then we got better, cheaper leads.
And he's done it twice. If you guys see on the picture and on the hook of the first sentence.
Correct.
Remote work. So it's like
if you follow this framework, for Facebook ads, you're going to be able to get it.
His account managers, who I've been working with, and some of you guys are going to work with, and I know actually you guys work with, they're incredible. They're in Latin America. They're not American account managers. They're literally high level. They would, if they lived in the U.S., they would be getting 5 to 10K a month working these jobs. Because they're in another place, they get paid really well, like very, very well. And Esteban found them through these types of ads.
Yeah, so guys, like we pay them and they're like earning money, like doctor money, basically. Like, and they're so incredibly happy. They're helping me build entire departments, entire processes, entire systems.
Esteban, how many Americans do you have on your team?
I have one. I have 1 and 2 Canadians.
And out of how many people?
We have maybe about 13, something like that.
That's a 7-figure business.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire rest of your team running a 7-figure operation is outside of the United States.
Correct.
And Esteban and I really agree on this. I truly believe that his American and Canadians can be, like they're good, they're very good. But we can find that type of talent in Latin America. There's no doubt.
We can.
There's no doubt.
We can find the same type of skill set.
Like, yeah.
Guys, I've just traveled so much and I lived in the country, like I just know. And he has as well. Like we just know we find incredible people. And it's cheaper for us, like especially for us as startup companies, guys. Yeah. Wow, it's huge. So here's for dispo managers. How do we label it? Account manager, business sales.
Yes.
And people are gonna be having experience in account management. So like, managing great, let's say for example, big corporate clients, they're managing a few B2B positions that ultimately require the same skill set that a dispo manager requires. You just train them on the process, you give them a specific system and ultimately continuously do the training for them. And they're gonna get there, they're gonna be there. So for example, dispo manager is the same thing as an account manager, like in the corporate role. Like they're gonna be doing B2B, client relationship retention with your buyers, gonna be finding new buyers, and also they're gonna be selling these homes to these buyers, and that's ultimately a B2B transaction, right? And the same thing, like, look, the ad looks basically the same. We just label it differently, and we change up a little bit of the writing on the ad in there. If you're running ads at the same time, then change maybe the color. We tested this color, and this color works really well because right now, like, the purple color and that gradient of colors, it just gets attention. It's very popular. It's very trendy, and people want to see that type of color. Yellow also captures attention and like drags them into the ad. And those are the ads that we got 20 cents, 39 cents per. So yeah, so we obviously we put in the ad. We make sure that the headline is work from home, line earn USD. The description is application takes 2 minutes. This is using very similar principles to e-commerce ads and so on, and the way that we do our ads also for to get clients. Here's a script. So again, like we're gonna give you this presentation, this exact script. You're just gonna be able to replace whatever it is that you need to replace for that ad. And the funnel, we make them go through a funnel. I'm gonna show it to you live, actually. The funnel that they went through, and it was about 21 questions. Oh, actually, it's right there. Right. Boom. All right. So they go through a funnel that has this specific survey. Now the funnel will tell a high-level description of the role, and the offer, once again, will label it. But this is the survey that ultimately people go to. So they start the application. We set expectations of the role. We say like, hey, following this application, it's important to move in the interview process. We require 90 to 100% native English speaking. Again, this is expectation set. Work from home, $600 to, okay, so I messed it up and it's $1,000 plus commissions. Candidates must show initiative, self-reliance, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of qualifiers in there. And then they need to be able to go through this thing. So English level, 100%, 90%. Let's say we give them the ability to choose also 80%. We qualify based on like also 90 to 100%. We also check sometimes at 80% to see what's going on in there, but usually they're lower level of English. Let's say James Hodges. What's their email? And we start asking them these questions. So for example, this will be crucial for you to ask their phone number. And if you have a platform like JotForm that captures their location right away, then you can always call them through WhatsApp. WhatsApp is like universally used all over the world. So you're going to be able to call them like at no cost, just WhatsApp. Anyone that is doing your process. And as a whole, these are the few questions that we give them. Where are you located? Do you have work from home experience? Current employment status? So whether they are employed right now, on-site, home base, or unemployed. We also have what kind of employment will you be looking for? So that would be part-time, full-time, either. Let me go here. What is your, actually, right now we're not asking what is your gender, but we definitely ask. I mean, I'm not sure if it's legal, but yeah, we're not asking for gender anymore. Other than account manager, which other roles would you be interested in? So we give them a few other roles that they could potentially be interested in, because maybe they have the right ability for other seats. We just give them the opportunity for them to choose. What is your minimum realistic salary expectations in US dollars? What areas and experience do you have? Like, where you can list down a bunch of different like skill sets or like daily activities that they will have to be doing. Have you had experience? For example, this one was one that I just noticed that this is for our agency. We want them to know at least a little bit of digital marketing. If they don't, they do, then that's great. Do you have reliable internet access? This is crucial. Like, if they do, like they must be able to provide the internet access in there. Here we have a question where we make them record a voice note. So, telling them why you think that it will be a great addition to our team. So JotForm has this option to record voice notes. There's also other surveys and applications that you can make them record a video right in there. And that's what we started doing after we tested this. So they do a video right in there, so we can see their facial expressions, we can see their intonations in the voice, we can basically like see exactly what they are like and if they're following instructions. And at the same time here, we go here and we ask them like a bunch of different questions, like 5 words to describe your character, what motivates you in your work, best times to reach you. And then after this, then we just ask for the video and it converts into a lead and it goes into a follow-up sequence where we're sending them an email for the next steps and so on, and we're going to reach out. Maybe a few tasks that we make them to do, and there's a bunch of different things that you can ultimately do based on your qualification process. But that's about it. That's about the survey yeah, for sure.
I'm assuming you ask all of your potential VAs these questions, right?
Correct.
Would we be able to have access to what their answers are to the questions so that we kind of get an idea of the type of people they're like before we start the interview?
Yeah, you can, of course. We also give you notes. So we, on ClickUp, you'll see notes of every single thing that they answered. It actually gives you a summary because not only do we ask them, we also interview them on those questions, so we get a better response on what they mean by that. So it's not just, hey, here's what they answered. Because we actually want to interview them like, hey, what do you mean by that? Because sometimes they'll answer like, oh yeah, I was looking for a sales job, but I'd rather do like appointment. I'd rather just send emails. You know what I mean? So we just dive a little bit deeper. So you'll see it on ClickUp because
Yeah.
It's on.
So this is, for example, like just a video of our company that we're looking for account manager, someone that knows English very well. Here down below, it's like a quick brief of what the role is all about, and our company is all about. Again, offer right in there, click the button, and that survey pops once again. Here is how we organize our pipeline. So we get our first lead, right? Boom. We get the application. The application is qualified. Then the interviews are scheduled for the screening process. If no-show, we have in there. If we end up giving them an offer and so on.
This is my team. Our team does all of this A through Z, and we disqualify qualified people. So that way, this is how we organize it for you guys. If you ever do it as well, that can help.
Correct. So that's basically like the system that you have to be able to put in place in order to get it going with any type of lead generation channel for your candidates, essentially. It's very similar to like generating leads, motivated sellers, right? It's just another business, essentially. And yeah, always be closing. I don't know why I put that slide there, but it makes sense. Always be closing.
Honestly, you have to close. Really high-level talent does need to be closed. That's
Yeah,
the reality of
it
things.
does.
Like maybe like not the cold callers initially, but really high-level talent will need to be closed, whether it's clients or for the job. So that's it, right?
Yeah, that's about it. And follow me on social media.
And follow me out.
And follow Omir Block as well.
Yeah,